Hello friends, how are you all doing? My name is August, this is Cozy Rosie Reads, and it's been a year, almost a year, since I have been on booktube. Is she back? I don't know. There's Winston. Winston is frisky. So why am I filming while he's frisky? Because every time I film, he's frisky. Here's Winston. He's the one causing all the ruckus. He's all missed you so much. I've missed you all so much. Thank you so much for being here. First off, I want to say I'm so sorry I left the planet of booktube with no notice, no updates. I just didn't answer anything. I really needed that time, and I really needed to disassociate from booktube for a little while and just also disassociate from social media in general. If you've been here for a while, you probably have seen my videos where I talk very openly about my ping pong relationship with social media and how much I hate it, and other times how it feels like it doesn't matter whether I share stuff or not. But it definitely came to a point in my life where a lot of changes happened. A lot has changed. My life is completely different. So I just really wanted to remain autonomous with my decision to share my life again. So I just thought this would be a chatty catch up, seeing how you all are doing, checking in with you all, sharing some very wacky books that I've read recently that I want to talk about. And I feel like Winston's getting into something. Why is it? He's actually not that rough. I swear it's as soon as I start talking to a camera, he loses it every time. 1 second. I've done this intro 4 times. I can't get him to stop. So yeah, my life is completely different. I live in a completely different city now. I moved across the state. This is my beautiful home. I'm in love with it. Art is still being hung up on the walls, but I have a couch for the first time in my adult life. I have a bathtub. I have a backyard. I have a front porch. I have all the things that my old apartment did not have, and I am so happy. My life is so different, and I feel it. I feel different. I feel so different in myself, and it feels amazing. And through all that transition and change that I've been through, moving and new friends and just this amazing new life and rediscovering myself, I definitely took a big step back from reading, like reading in general, because I was actually out living a life. Booktube was something I was incredibly passionate about. Reading has always been something I'm incredibly passionate about. And I always wanted to share the weird books that I read. I wanted to have a bookish community, and I found that through all of you. And I can never thank you all enough for just being so supportive and like loving what I have to say and share. It felt like the first space where it was like held. Like space was held for me because of you all. Like it felt like it was like my thoughts and my opinions and what I liked mattered. And that was really a big pinnacle for like realizing the community I can surround myself with is not just like-minded people, but people who like appreciate what I have to say and understand me on a psychological, emotional, human level. And I've been able to like connect with so many amazing humans, and through this change and revelation of rediscovering myself, I haven't changed. It doesn't feel like. It feels like I've just embraced who I really, really am. And I love it so much. And I am still a reader, but I'm not reading the same level because I'm actually out living a life. I realized that I was using books and thrifting and booktube as a form of escapism. You know, thrifting especially, like buying things, and I was just always seeking some level of like serotonin. Like I wanted to finish that book. I wanted to reach a new achievement. I wanted to feel like I accomplished something in a day. I wanted to be understood and heard and seen and supported and validated. And now that I am in actual real life, I don't need booktube anymore, and I don't rely heavily on reading or my next accomplishment or like filming a new video or editing it. But I've definitely missed filming, and I've missed sharing my weird bookish finds and my weird thrift finds, and there are definitely a lot of things that I just genuinely miss. I'm sorry about Winston, y'all. I am sorry. I literally can't control this man. All that to say, I don't discredit booktube. I don't discredit the community that's here. I don't discredit other booktubers. I just know for myself, I needed to find who I was outside of this weird sphere of perception and a very tiny snippet of my life, you know, my videos only showed a tiny little bit of my life, and it did not even come close to encapsulating a lot of the emotions that went on behind the scenes, a lot of feelings, a lot of really, really hard times, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, and really deeply, deeply struggling. I no longer feel like I'm deeply struggling. I am so happy, and my life is so beautiful, and I travel a lot, and it's exhausting, and my work is insanely beautifully busy, and reading is now a leisure. It is a luxury. It is something that is wonderful and comforting, but I don't read at the same pace that I do anymore, and I am so okay with that. So I really, really hope you all have been doing really well. I'm sorry I dropped off the face of the earth. It wasn't my intention to, but also I know that I needed to take that time because I was deeply depressed and I was really fighting a lot of things, and it was a war in my brain all the time, and I finally am happy and stable and at peace and in a very comforting, loving home and community, and my friends and my loved ones. Like, it is so strong and rich, and it's so beautiful, and I'm so happy. So this is my new home. You're on a beautiful coffee table with some marigolds that my friend gave me. There's a pumpkin candle right below me here, and I've got a glass of apple pie wine. And I thought I would share, I did go thrifting today, and I got this beautiful jacket. I'm in love with it. I don't know if I can show more of it, but it is quite long. So it is cozy, it's large, it is just everything to me. I definitely call my style like grandma chic or grandma goth chic. So this is definitely that. I am in love with it. It's like such a thick fabric, like a couch fabric almost. I'm in love with it. So, hello. Are you done being a weirdo? No, never. He's never done being a weirdo. So I thought I would quickly share what I thrifted today, just because I'm very excited about it. It's been a while since I've gone thrifting. I rarely do it, but my neighborhood has a lot of library book sales, and it's just an amazing community over here. I'm in love with it. It's beautiful. I'm so happy. Like, look at us, we're thriving. The first thing that I want to share with you all that I thrifted today, oh my glob, it's a saddlebag. It is a tiny little saddlebag. I am in love with it. Look at this, like, I don't know if it's supposed to be like a fake tooth, but it feels like marble, but I am in love. This is going to be my new bag. This is the fall winter bag. Gorgeous. I also found the theme of this new house, which is still coming together. It's beautiful though, I love it, is Gothic botanical. So it's a lot of like older vintage antique-y things with a lot of green, a lot of orange, and like a dark purple. And then I found this piece of fabric that ties it all together so beautifully, like celestial, Gothic 90s vibe. This is just a big piece of fabric that I'm gonna cut and make into placemats to fit the house because it's amazing. This is exactly the style. The suns have like little faces on them. I'm in love. So this is like exactly the theme of the house. It's like cozy witch 90s vibes. That's kind of the feeling of the house, and it's kind of come together naturally. Like, this couch is like the deepest green, and it is so comfy, and I've had friends over and we just sink into this couch, and it is the most divine time sitting on here. I love it. I've been living on this couch. Okay, next up I don't even know, this Goodwill did not have a dressing room, but it is like a halter sweater. So this will go around the neck, and then it hangs, and then it's a sweater. I love it. I'm so excited for this. I have no idea what it will look like on. Absolutely fantastic, my friends. I really need more fall clothes and winter clothes. I only ever thrift stuff, so now it's coming up on year like 6 of wearing the same turtlenecks over and over and over again every fall and winter, and I'm like, it's time that I thrift some more pieces. Then I got this beautiful cropped cardigan. So it is a little crop top, but it has these long olive green sleeves, so it's knitted with some high-waisted trousers. I am there. Amazing, immaculate. And then lastly, it was a very chill haul. I got a long sparkly gold skirt because I have been in love with long skirts and sweaters lately. This one has like a tiny little bit of a leg slit, but it's gorgeous and beautiful, and it's very sparkly and gold. Look at that. Yeah. So I think all those pieces put together are gonna be phenomenal. Not every single one layered on top of each other, but with the bag and then this coat, this jacket that I got that I'm currently wearing with my wool sweater and my corduroy trousers. I mean, you can't see, this is like the shittiest angle ever, but oh, she's a vibe. It's a vibe. Okay, it is currently spooky season. I know I've been wanting to read like horror books. My friends and I went thrifting while they were in town and went to this used bookstore, and I found this indie book called The Hecatomb by J. Edward Neill. This is such a creepy cover. I was hooked immediately. It reads One Dead Every Night Forever, and I flew through this in like 3 days. It is only 120 pages or so. If you're looking for like a myth, a tale, a legend that is told in like first person perspective, but it's 4 separate stories spanning an unknown time, an unknown place. Like you have no idea what time period this is, if it's in the past, if it's now, if it's in the future, no idea, which I love. I love taking characters and narratives completely out of a timeline or a geographical location, and it follows a curse where one person is gone and missing and dead every night in all these separate towns in this mythic place. And it follows all these different characters, like 4 different characters, 4 different stories, as they try and figure out what is going on. Like, what is this curse? What is this? Is it a monster? Is it a human doing like demon work? Like, who is kidnapping one person a night for centuries? It's just been going on forever. This was so fun. There were definitely parts in it that were creepy and scary, but it wasn't overall terrifying. It was just such a fun read, and I flew through it, and it was exactly what I wanted and needed, and it made me so happy. And now I'm just on the lookout for more like indie horror books that I've never heard of before or never seen. So when I went thrifting today, I was really hoping I'd find something similar to this, like something I would very easily overlook. It's just a tiny black spine. You just gotta dig through those shelves, but alas, I didn't find anything today. But oh my gosh, this was so fun. It is very, very simple storytelling, very easy to read. It does just feel like a legend, you know, like a pass it down through oral history kind of thing. Like, it was just really, really intriguing. So if you're looking for a spooky read that's a little different, I really, really recommend The Hecatomb. Like, it is spooky. That cover, ugh. Yeah, I want to recommend this to so many people. It was just really, really good. I'm also currently reading 2 books. One is Possession by A.S. Byatt. That one is very thick and very heavy and very dense and very intellectual, very British. And I'm gonna kind of savor that one for like November. It feels more like a historical fiction that I want to curl up with when things are slowing down and I have more time to devote to reading something very thick and understanding it. And then last night I also started a new like sci-fi thriller horror. We'll see how it goes, but it's called Black Moon. I can't remember the name of the author, but I'm really liking it so far. It's basically about how the world is infected with this plague of insomnia and no one can sleep, which is horrifying. As someone who suffers from insomnia, no, I cannot imagine never being able to fall asleep because I have very, very strong bouts of insomnia and it sucks. Other books that I've read, my friends, I read finally Dr. Jeckyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. I loved this. I loved this so much. It was so creepy. It was eerie. It was grim. It was freaky. I loved it. So gothic, so menacing, so like, oh, the writing was so rich, and like, I loved this. I loved it so much. It's definitely one of my new favorite classics. It was so eerie and suspenseful and odd. It just gives you the heebie-jeebies in such a very specific way. I loved it. So if you're looking for, again, like another spooky season book, Dr. Jeckyll and Mr. Hyde is so good. Such a great classic. I liked it a lot more than I enjoyed like Phantom of the Opera. What other classic has kind of that eeriness? I can't think off the top of my head, but yeah, Dr. Jeckyll and Mr. Hyde, so great. Actually very, very, very short. Yeah, it's just blew me away. I flew through it. I did not want to stop reading it. It was so good. Next, my friends, I read one of the most disgusting books I've ever read in my life, but I loved it, and I'm not telling you I recommend it because so many people would hate it, and I know they would fucking hate it. but I loved it, okay? And that is The Death of the Little Match Girl by Zoran Feríc. And this is nasty. It is a nasty little book. And it is translated by Tomislav Kuzmanovic. I'm so sorry. It is Croatian. It is a Croatian novel. It is nasty. It follows this man who goes back to his hometown on this island. He's visiting because his childhood friend's daughter has passed away. So everyone's like mourning, but it's all these old high school friends are getting back together. They're a little bit older now. And as our main character is exploring the island and reconnecting with friends, a trans woman is murdered in their town. And I will warn you, this book was originally published in 2002. It has incredibly outdated language. That's why I'm saying this book is not for everyone. It is repulsive, it is disgusting. It also uses some very outdated language that now would just not fly at all. But with the translation as well, I mean, I'm not exactly sure if that was the author's intentions, what have you. This follows exorcisms. It follows priests being very unlawful and doing wrong things. Let me just read a little snippet of the inside jacket because it is crazy. The investigation of the Match Girl's murder, and the Match Girl is the trans prostitute that is found murdered on the island, leads not only to the discovery of the murderer, but also to a strange universe of secrets, sicknesses, physical and psychological, and deviant behaviors among the island's upstanding inhabitants. It is a world unto itself, loaded with creepy settings, bizarre exchanges, and dark, sardonic humor. It is bizarre, uncomfortable fusion of detective story, crime novel, political thriller, and raw, grotesque fiction. In short, Balkan krimi. So it's Balkan. It is disgusting. If you can't stand like bodily fluids, talks of like very toxic masculinity, like men talking about sex, just very grotesque bodily things happening. But I loved this. It was a fever dream. It was so bizarre. It was so odd, which is right up my alley. If you've been here for a while, you know that that's the stuff I thrive on. Like I want something to have like a Twin Peaks vibe, where it starts out as like a murder mystery and then leads into something that you're like, what the actual hell is happening? I have no idea. And I love it. That is what I'm here for in literature. I want something that will completely surprise me. This completely surprised me. So that is The Death of the Little Match Girl. I loved it. It was deliciously disgusting and I loved it. Next, I'm working backwards chronologically here. So prior to that, I read this one in September as Annie Oakley's Girl by Rebecca Brown. This is a collection of queer, lesbian, sapphic stories. They are short stories. How many are in here? 7 stories. Also disgusting. It was so good. There's this amazing story called Folle à Deux, which was so good. It was about like obsessive partners, a couple who is like so infatuated with the other person. They are a duo. They're so in love with each other. One makes the other one blind. The other one makes the other one deaf. So they have to rely on each other. Fascinating. There's also one called The Joy of Marriage that I put a little heart next to, although I really can't remember why I love that one so much. But I loved that this collection, it really didn't do a whole lot with pronouns. It left characters so ambiguous, like you don't know the gender, the sex, the identification of these people. For a few of them, it is pretty queer and very sapphic, and I loved that. And then the rest were just this open interpretation of like who you think these characters are. Are they a hetero couple? Are they a queer couple? We don't know how they identify, and it is amazing. Some of the stories are written in second person. Like, I just loved it. It was like a violent but like beautiful, like divine feminine experience. I love this short story collection. It was so incredibly good. I can't believe I picked it up on a whim. This one was published in 1993. It was just an amazing short story collection, my friends. I really, really enjoyed this one. So if you're into short stories, I definitely recommend Annie Oakley's Girl. And then lastly, the last book I want to chat with you all about is one that I picked up in Grand Rapids, my hometown, right before I moved. And that is called The Game by Alex Bos. So this is an author who is from my town, Grand Rapids. I don't know if this is their first novel or not, but I flew through this, my friends. I flew through it. If my platform can be here to showcase books that I think are underrated, I really hope that this one gets somewhere, because this is a like sci-fi, fast-paced, like page turner. I sat in one spot and read over like 60 pages. It's so easy to read. I love it. And apparently a part 2 is coming out because this ends on such a big cliffhanger. A part 2 is coming out in November, I believe. That's what I think I heard. It does compare itself to Squid Games, but it's a virtual reality game. So we're following this main character named Alyssa, who is down on her luck. She received a DUI, isn't allowed to drive anymore, has to do community service, and she really needs a lot of money. And she is set up with the opportunity to work for this VR company. And so she enters this virtual reality, joins as a character, has an avatar in the game, and is required to complete certain tasks. She doesn't understand what the tasks are. We don't understand what the tasks are. Sometimes it's as simple as like offer a person a bag of potato chips or sneak into this museum or like very odd things. And you just have to do them. But you do know that other people in the game are also real people playing the game. So you just have to make these decisions. Some of them are very, very out there and really makes you question your morality, but you're like, it's just a game. That's all we know. I'm just playing a game. It's fine. And every time you play, once a week, you get a good chunk of money. So this book follows that. So if you're into science fiction, if you're into games, or like if you just want a really, really fun, quick read, oh my gosh, this was so fun. I read it at the end of summer and I flew through it and I wanted more immediately. It had been a while before reading this that I had found a book that was like an actual page turner that I wanted to fly through, that I also wanted to take slowly because I didn't want it to end, you know? So highly recommend that. So there we have it, my friends. Those are the books that I have read recently. They're all shorties, and I love that. I am such a fan of short books. They pack such a big punch, and I adore them. I love how bizarre and weird all of these are. So strange, so surreal, so different, and that's exactly what I love, love, love to read. I want to not know anything going into books, and I've been pleasantly surprised. So as of now, will I be returning to BookTube? Maybe. I know for a fact I won't be creating content at the same rate that I was before I left, like 2 videos a week or 1 video a week. That was just a lot, but maybe every now and then I'll share what I'm currently reading. If it's something I'm really passionate about, if it's a book I'm really passionate about. I'm not reading as much, like I said, so I don't feel like I need to be pumping out as much content because I would run out of things to talk about. But I genuinely hope you all have been doing really, really well. Thank you all so incredibly much for being here, friends. Again, I'm sorry I dropped off the face of the earth. I have appreciated all of your comments, asking if I was okay, checking in, saying that you hope I return. I appreciate it, Winston. I appreciate it so much. We're doing really, really well. Hopefully I will see you all very soon. In the meantime, stay cozy, my friends. Bye!